So we're talking about life and faith survival, and so I have packed my rucksack for this weekend. I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have packed. You know, if I was going on sort of a survival trip with Bear Grylls, if anyone's been watching Celebrity Island with Bear Grylls, in case I get a cold, I've bought, you know, some tissues. So I've got some of those. I've bought quite a lot of tea bags, because I love tea and, you know, essential. All those bad moments. Crunchies, because everybody loves crunchies. Hopefully. Yeah. A tablet, you know, just in case I get bored, get some Wi-Fi up there on the mountain somewhere. And then finally, last but not least, some of my Paddington plasters that say, look after this bear. For, you know, if I fall over and get a little bit of a cut or whatever. And, you know, so, I mean, imagine if I kind of took some of those things and met up with Bear Grylls and we were going on an adventure. They'd probably kind of look at those and say, you know, that's great, but, you know, we can have a cup of tea on a mountain top and we can have a look at the view, but what on earth are you going to do with all of that stuff when we're, like, hanging off the side of a mountain, which Bear Grylls does kind of quite a lot. And so sometimes we kind of, we get a bit lost along the way with the things that we pack in our lives. We pack our bags with loads of stuff. If Bear Grylls looked at my bag, he'd probably think I'm not quite fully prepared. And I'm kind of sure he'd agree that tea bags are great, but I kind of probably need something more. And sometimes it's similar with Jesus. We pack our bags for life with stuff that we hope will get us through, hope will make us happy, hope that will distract us, that will help us to maybe forget all the bad stuff, that when life hits you like a brick in the face, as it does, these things often don't really help us to survive it all. And there's nothing wrong with nice things, there's nothing wrong with all the nice things that we have in our lives, there's nothing wrong with tea bags and crunchies, but actually when life hits us really, really hard, they don't really help us to get through those really difficult times. Many of you know that I've had at least a couple of times in my life of those when life hits you like a brick in the face kind of moments. And one of those was when I had leukemia when I was 14, and the other was when I had depression when I was 20. And in both of those times, the stuff of life, or the things that I filled my rucksack or my life with, actually all that stuff dropped away, and what was left was God, my friends and my family, and a little bit of hope for the future. And both of those times, thanks to God, who was forever by my side as my comforter, my helper, and for the lovely people that were around me, and for the awesomeness of medicine, I survived. And it's about being prepared, and that's what our session is called today, be prepared. For those life-shattering moments, what are we going to do? How do we get through those moments when they hit us? And actually, how do we get through the day-to-day? Because sometimes that is equally as difficult. And I just want to read you something from a talk I gave several years ago now. And I was giving this talk to a group of who were the young people that I worked with at the time. And they were young people that I'd grown up with. So young people that had seen what I'd been through when I was ill and when I had depression and all those kind of things. And about 2 weeks before I did this talk, I started to feel not too good. I felt quite unwell, and I noticed some of the familiar symptoms that I'd had when I was about 14, and so I started to worry and get nervous. And so I went to the doctor, and they did some blood tests, and they were a little bit slow coming back. And I kind of thought, this is just great timing, because the talk that I needed to do was, how do we know where to go when life gets rubbish? And so I've kind of written 2 versions of this talk, not really knowing what the outcome was going to be. But actually, it was all right and everything was fine. But I just want to read to you what I kind of said on that night. I kind of got the results through on that Friday morning, and the Friday evening was when I had to do this talk, so it was pretty close to the line. But I just want to share with you this, because for me, I think it's one of the most real things that I've written, and one of the most honest things I've written, and I think it sums up why I do what I do week in, week out. So this is what I said on this night. 2 weeks ago, I had a leukemia scare, a chance that it could have come back. I felt sick and terrified, thinking, can I really go through this again? But I knew exactly where to go. I knew exactly who I needed. It was just a scare and everything is okay, but I'm 22 now and the precious lesson that I learned 8 years ago is still saving me now. It took a life or death situation for me to learn this lesson, and my hope for you guys, what I want more than anything, is that you get to learn this lesson too without having to wait until a desperate time where there's nowhere else to turn, to learn that God is always the place to go. And so when I say that, I don't say that lightly, and I don't say that for any other reason than I know from my experience, and I honestly truly believe from the bottom of my heart, more than anything, that God loves each one of us. And knowing him and trusting him is the best thing we can ever do with our lives. Even when life is rubbish, even when life is brick in the face, even when life is mountaintop cup of tea drinking. Actually, he is always the place to go, and he is always with us. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. And what we're going to hear from is Bear Grylls and what he says about some of his faith and facing some difficult times. So check this out.
Is Bear Grylls a Christian?
He is. It's very tiny on the screen.
Standing on the top of Everest, that must have been an incredible experience. Did it change your perspective in any way?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's hard to come back from a mountain and an experience like that unchanged. And we had 4 climbers lose their lives whilst we're up there, and I think it's that shakes your confidence a lot. And I think what I came back with though was gratitude, actually, above all, and an awareness that we were lucky to survive, and the climbers that died were certainly no worse climbers than us. They're probably better climbers, but we were just luckier. And I was one very grateful man, is the honest answer, when I got off the bottom of that. But we were there a long time, 3.5 months of being cold and scared. There's a reality of it.
You've written in Facing Up about some of the extraordinary challenges you faced. How important was your faith in all of that?
My Christian faith is, it's always hard talking about faith, because I know we're in a place where it's fine to talk about it, but I don't just talk about it because I'm amongst people who don't mind that. A faith is intimate and it's personal, but it means the world to me, and it was a rock to me during those times, and it's a rock to me, in normal life. And I think life can sometimes be a bit quite fluffy, and we race through it, and it's all so busy. And I think the magic, what I always found on the big expeditions, the big mountaineering side of things, is that everything slows down and life becomes much more raw, and it becomes about relationships, it becomes about life and death. And I prayed every day on that mountain, and it was a real backbone to me. And it's taken me a while, if I'm honest, to be able to talk about it, but it is a backbone, I think would be the way I describe it. And to be able to, I'm not very good on the Bible, I don't know nearly enough verses, but I know a few, and the few I know I really depend on. And one of them is that it says, where does my help come from? I lift my eyes up to the mountains, where does my help come from? And it says, my help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven, creator of our earth. And there have been an awful lot of times where I've been breathing out of my backside, sweating like mad, scared, cold, things are going wrong, and you hold on to simple things. And my faith has never been very complicated, but it's always said that in those moments, the good, the bad, if you look for me, I'm right there. And that's kind of helped me a load.
What would you say to someone who says, well, maybe you're using your faith as a crutch, a kind of safety harness?
Probably true. What does a crutch do? It holds us up, and I don't mind saying it holds me up, but I think it's more than a crutch. I look at it as something stronger than, and as I said, it is that backbone. It runs straight through who I am and where I lean on in my life.